My child's grades are fine, but they're not excelling in every subject like I think they should be. I just don't understand why they're not putting in more effort or getting better results in all their classes. Can you tell me how to get them to work harder at school? Great question. And again, this is another one that comes up all the time where people's main concern really is academic progress. And that is something I need to talk about first. Our main concern with children should not be their academic progress. It should be a concern and it should be something that we do focus on with them, but it should not be the number one thing that we think is going to make or break them. So breathe easy. If that has been your number one concern, just know it's not the number one thing that's going to make or break their success in this life. You covered a few different things. You said that their grades are fine, but they're not excelling in every subject. And then you ask why they might not be putting in more effort, and then how to have them work harder at school. So I guess the first thing is to have a conversation with them and see if they feel like they are working the hardest that they can and putting in their best effort. That doesn't mean that they're losing sleep over how much effort that they're putting in, or that they're getting rid of all of their social calendar just so that they can focus on school. Because again, academics are important, but it shouldn't be the number one thing, and it shouldn't be the only thing that we're focusing on with kids. So reading this question the way that it's written, I would really say in our world today, the expectation has become that kids get all A's in all their classes. It's kind of this, what I've deemed this 5-star world, where when I used to ride in Ubers, is that how you say it? Ride in an Uber? I would give a real rating. To me, a 5-star used to be, not anymore. Now I would not dare give below a 5 unless something really bad happened. But it used to be that a 5 to me was like, Uber drivers used to have snacks in their car, and they'd have the charger set up so that you could plug your phone in, and all these other things. And it was really above and beyond. That was 5 stars. Now, in our world today, it's like, how dare you not give 5 stars? How dare you not tip to the extreme and give 5 stars? They drove you. Well, yeah, I get it, and I understand they want a 5-star rating. If they would like a 5-star rating, they need to have gone above and beyond. Now, again, that is not our world today. In our world today, I just click 5 stars unless something really egregious happened on the ride. But we've translated that over to the school environment, where we've made kids believe that all A's in all subjects for all their years in school should be the goal. And it just shouldn't be. Kids are going to be better at some things than they are at other things, or they're going to be more interested in some things than they are in other things. And we've got to bring back that mentality. An A means that you excel at that thing. It means that you are excellent at that thing. A B means that you are above average at that thing. And a C means that you are average at that thing. But so many times parents will freak out if their child gets a C, when really maybe the child is working as hard as they can and math just isn't their subject. So they got a C. Well, guess what? That means they're average. That means that they're on level. That means that they're doing what they need to be doing at an average level. They're not excelling, but guess what? Maybe they're not wanting to go into anything with math, or maybe it's just not something that they are super interested in. So adjusting expectations might be part of the answer to this question. If you're expecting that your child is going to get all A's in all subjects at all times, that's not really fair to place onto the child for a lot of different reasons. Different subjects actually require different parts of the brain to work harder than other parts of the brain. Maybe you've heard of this left brain, right brain mentality. And I've got to be honest with you, I always get it screwed up. Which one is the left brain and which one is the right brain? But one half is more that creative side and one half is more that facts and figure side. So children who are much more, let's say, I hope that I'm saying this right, left brain, that more creative side, they might excel better at subjects like different sciences at times. Now, I'll give a caveat to that, but sciences and English and arts, that's more that left brain side, whereas the right brain side is things like math. And then social studies can kind of play both. If you've got a teacher that wants them to memorize a bunch of dates and facts, that's much more right brain. If you've got a teacher that wants them to understand the different themes that were going on in history and how they can apply to today, that's much more left brain. And the same with science. If you have a teacher that just wants you to memorize chemical formulas, that's much more right brain. And if you have a teacher that wants you to understand how things work together and how we use it in our world today, that's much more left brain. Well, each of us, our brain is wired to have strengths and weaknesses in our own brains. So to require that a child gets all A's in all subjects just doesn't take into account that their brain isn't wired that way. So if that's your expectation, you're going to need to adjust that expectation, and that's okay. But remember, it's really about effort, and it's about helping your child understand that they need to put forth their best effort. That doesn't mean that they should give up everything just to do well in school. But it does mean that with the life they live, they should be giving forth their best effort at everything they do, whether it be sports or school or art or theater or music or having conversations with people or the way that they volunteer or maybe they have a part-time job, whatever it might be, that they should be giving their best effort in each of their areas. That doesn't mean they're going to be the best one at each of their areas, but they should be giving their best effort. And if you feel like your child is not giving their best effort, not just that they're not getting the A, but that they're not giving their best effort, you can go to them and you can have a conversation and say, you know, you said you were giving your best effort, but I noticed you didn't study at all for this test, or it didn't seem to me like you studied at all for this test. Can you tell me what that plan was about? Because you told me that it was your best effort, but it just didn't look that way. So let's talk about it. It doesn't have to be all this punitive consequence, big extreme reactions. It can just be, hey, I do want you to put forth your best effort. Do you really feel like you've been doing that? Have you really been putting forth your best effort? And if they can say yes, and they can tell you why, then guess what? Maybe they just don't excel in the subject that you're thinking about. But when you look at other subjects, maybe they do excel at those. And praise them big for the things that they excel at. And then for the things that they are more average at, praise them for putting forth their best effort, even though it's not something that they enjoy as much. And it's not something that that just comes as easily to them. If you'll do that, they'll see that putting forth effort still gets reward, still gets praise, and that you see how hard they're working. And over time, they'll be willing to work harder because they see that you care about it. Hopefully that was helpful. If it was, make sure to like this video and subscribe, especially on YouTube, but across all social media. It's at Mr. Stu TV. Thank you so much for writing in.